In this video, we're going to introduce Workspace toggles, the structure hierarchy, and taking measurements in the workspace. Different toggle features are found in the bottom right corner of BioLuminate. Let's explore them a bit. First, make sure the top entry, 1N8Z prepared, is included in the workspace. Remember the difference between selection and inclusion. Click Fit View to All if you can't see the entire antibody-antigen complex in the workspace. Before we start, let's quickly select the protein atoms and, in the Style toolbox, click the eyeball to display all of the residues of the antibody and antigen, and then click to render them as thin tubes. Let's say we wanted to toggle off the ribbons. You can just click the highlighted toggle to hide the ribbons from the workspace. Toggling something off does not delete it, so we can toggle it back on and view it in the workspace at any later point. There are other toggles as well. For example, we can toggle off annotations, measurements, or surfaces if they are part of the structure in our workspace. Notice that toggles that are not applicable to the included structure, such as measurements and surfaces, are not active and are grayed out. They will only become active once they are relevant to a structure that is included in the workspace. To the right of the ribbons toggle is the Interactions toggle. If you right-click on the toggle, the Interactions panel opens. This allows us to visualize the interactions in the workspace. Different interactions are shown in different colors, and you can toggle the display on or off. Let's first turn on all of the non-covalent interactions. Since the default setting for the interactions is ligand receptor, let's switch non-covalent bonds and pi stacking to antibody-antigen. This shows all of the interactions between the antibody and the antigen in the workspace. There is also the Protein Interaction Analysis panel, which could be helpful for deciphering different protein-protein interactions. There are other toggle features as well. Click the plus in the bottom right of the interface. To change the clipping planes of your protein, we can use this toggle. Clipping planes are a way to move horizontally through your structure. This is useful for visualization, such as getting a better look at internal features of a protein. To adjust the clipping planes, click and drag on the orange lines. If you wanted to adjust one part of the workspace structure you clipped through, how do you think you could change your clipping planes? That's right, even clipping planes are right-clickable. For now, let's keep them set to all. Additionally, you can toggle off and on the sequence viewer. This allows you to see the amino acid sequence of a protein in your workspace. You can select areas of your protein and interact with it using right-click. You can also see that the residues in the sequence viewer are colored according to their color in the workspace. While the multiple sequence viewer editor has much more functionality than the sequence viewer embedded in BioLuminate, this viewer is still helpful for quick selections and editing. You can use the tile toggle to view multiple entries side by side, and you can also adjust the background color for the workspace. Just to review, you have a lot of control over the features in your workspace by using the toggles in the Workspace configuration toolbar. Use these toggles to adjust what you see in the workspace without deleting any information. Let's now go to the bottom left corner of the interface, where we will find the structure hierarchy. You can see that we have one entry included in the structure hierarchy. This is the same entry that is included in the workspace. The structure hierarchy makes it easy to examine the components of a particular entry. Right-click on the 1N8Z prepared entry in the structure hierarchy and select Apply Antibody Annotation. Select Trophia and click OK. We can now expand protein to see its components. You can see that the antibody is in its own group. Click the arrow next to where it says antibody to expand and see the light and heavy chains. Instead of selecting a chain and adjusting the rendering in the Style toolbox on the top, you can also hover over an object and click the icon to open a Style toolbox for just that object. Now, let's click the arrow next to chain H to see its components. Let's search within the structure hierarchy for our particular residue of interest. Type ARG space 50. You can see that the structure hierarchy automatically pulls up arginine 50 in the heavy chain. You can also search by the residue number across chains or by a particular residue type. By double-clicking arginine 50, we can zoom to it in the workspace. This arginine is involved in two separate salt bridges with Herceptin, as well as a hydrogen bond interaction. If you do not see those interactions, double-check that you turned on non-covalent interactions in the interactions toggle and switch it from ligand receptor to antibody antigen. Let's measure the distance of the hydrogen bond between arginine 50 in the heavy chain and glutamate 558 in chain A. First, click on Measure in the Favorites toolbar. A banner prompting you for the next step appears in your workspace. Here, we can decide what we would like to measure: distances, angles, dihedrals, etc. Each option will give you instructions for what to do. Let's choose distances. Now click on the two atoms that form the hydrogen bond to define the distance. Remember, the hydrogen bond is shown with a yellow dashed line. You can use your predictive highlighting to let you know what you are going to click on before you click on it. After you select both atoms, the measurement appears in the workspace and the measurement toggle becomes active. Pause here until you can see the measurement. Once you can see the measurement in the workspace, click OK to close the measurement pane. In order to clean up the workspace, we're going to toggle off the measurement. Remember, toggling something off does not delete it, so we can toggle it back on and view it in the workspace at any later point. In this video, we went through using various workspace toggles, navigating the structure hierarchy, and taking a measurement in the workspace.